Doing well. Still doing a little producer-y thingies because the YouTube stream went to the wrong place, so now we're getting into the right place.
Start it up again.
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, as long as you're on the right, yep, you're broadcasting to the right Facebook page. That's
Oh yeah, see, we've done that before too.
Yeah. Oh no, it just came up on YouTube. I just got the notification.
Yeah, it was broadcasting to my personal page before, so now it's broadcasting.
Gotcha. And we got Jeff. How are you, Mr. Hefe?
good.
Awesome. And joining us not only just for tonight, but for the rest of this series, by popular demand, we have Kat.
Yeah, right.
No. You don't.
By
you
popular demand, absolutely.
Last week was awesome. So welcome, Kat.
Thank you.
I watched most of it, but I didn't watch the whole episode. But yes, you guys were doing an excellent job, and I was doing other things.
Hey Blake, enjoy the cantina. Have fun at Oga's. Hey Jen, how are you? So we're here for another week of Andor. And you know, I a couple of notes before I start to talk about this. First and foremost, we are 6 months to the day away from Bunta 4, which is pretty incredible in that capacity. Which is
don't you forget
nuts.
about me.
Yeah, don't you forget about me. Which is nuts. Also, just keep an eye out in next week because we have a new teaser coming out. It might make you want to dance. Yep. You like the nightlife?
Sorry, that was the gopher from Caddyshack. That was mixing my metaphors.
Yep. You like to dance, you like to boogie. And that's pretty much it. Obviously, we're getting ready at the end of this month. We got 20 days. The Tales of the Jedi comes out. And what we're going to do is, since it's 2 arcs of 3 episodes, we're going to watch them. Ooh, hello. Yep.
See, now that's the mixing the metaphors the right way, right?
Yes. We're gonna watch the Ahsoka arc first, and then we'll watch the Dooku arc the following week, on the Tuesday nights. Since we'll be
and we're gonna do that. People can join us actually on the Zoom and interact like physically, face to face, things.
Like we did for a Bad Batch and all that. Yep.
Yes. So if you want to be, snarky in person ish, join us for those.
Say whatever you want. We won't be recording it.
That's right. We don't record those. No.
You can come on in and BS all you want and talk as much madness as you feel and enjoy the episodes and enjoy everyone else's nonsense comments too.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
If you think that you can do this better than us, which we kind of probably do too. Please do.
Okay, so here's what grinds my gears, and I'm glad that Kat's on for this. There's been a lot of people talking about, oh my God, this is not their Star Wars. Oh my God, this is boring. Oh my God. Let's put it this way. There is no pleasing the Star Wars fan. You either like it or you don't, but you're going to bitch no matter what. But the thing is that there's something for everybody in this capacity. I particularly love the slow burn in general. I like something that's different. I love Attack of the Clones, which you get to see real life in Star Wars outside of the Skywalker realm. Even though that Obi-Wan was involved in my favorite scene on Dexter's Diner, but I still love that scene. But same time, it's like I look at it as like rebellions, are not just about physical warfare. It's psychological, and it needs to start from something. It doesn't just start from someone throwing a punch or shooting a gun. And that's what this could. I just love this kind of storytelling. But Kat, what's your thoughts on this? That no one is ever happy.
It's kind of a given. It's called the internet. For some reason, that type of stuff sells. Like I know that some of the hate watching channels out there don't actually hate it. They just know that they just play characters because they know it's going to sell and get them a lot of hits. And on my own channel, I'm with some friends we've had for since June of last year. It's like, we realized we could, since we have connections with some of those people, that we could easily shoot up to thousands of views on our videos if we did that, but it's like that's not. It's like no, it just seems way too toxic. It's not appealing at all,
Yeah.
and it makes places like this very refreshing by comparison. So yeah, people are going to complain about everything. Then again, you're going to have different people come out of the woodworks complaining for different reasons. So
Yep.
it's inevitable. I've been hearing mostly mixed reviews from different corners of the fandom about this series, but that's going to happen.
I mean, so we talked about a lot. We talked about it last week when we did the watch along as well. Is ever since Rogue One, we were saying that the fandom is ready for a gritty adult Star Wars, and some people just don't want to be an adult.
Well, yeah, but the fandom in general has said that, and then you give them what they want, and
You're still not happy.
it's
You stole their
still-
childhood and you gave them something else.
Well, you could have that, or you could have somehow Palpatine returns.
Yeah, you can have that. Now, I mean, I'm all about complaining when they ruin your childhood because I tried to watch Thundercats Ho, and oh my god, but this is not Thundercats. Ho.
Thundercats Ho. Are you sure you're watching the right show?
Don't make me get the Star Wars Hub graphic out.
Speaking of which, aren't we might be doing some after hours in one of the next
Hopefully, people show up on time.
I got a game right here ready for you guys, and I actually took the time while we were meeting on Tuesday to improve it and add some graphics and fancy it up. So
hopefully on Tuesday we'll bring back after hours, but please try to make it there. It's been a lot of fun lately. But yeah, Andor has been, in my mind, has been absolutely incredible. Some great Easter eggs. Someone posted on my page today that it's nice to have some Star Wars that's not directly tied to a Filoni character, yet there's been so many Filoni Easter eggs sprinkled in the last 2 episodes.
Mhm.
But it's nice. Like I said, there's something for everybody. I think it's Star Wars.
So big question at whole again. I've kind of hinted at these things before, but all the Filoni Easter eggs and the little things, do you think it's actually built into something, or are they just Easter egging us?
it's a
Could
good
just
one.
be references just to tie everybody in.
I didn't know if maybe toward the end we would get like a big Easter egg or something that would jump us forward in time or make us anticipate the Ahsoka show. But I don't know that that's the next thing, so I don't know that matters because I think we'll get Bad
No,
Batch before
we're
that.
getting Bad Batch and then
3,
Mando before
So-
Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think at this point it's an Easter egg.
Mm.
However, who knows? Because if you remember chapter 13, the Jedi, that came out of nowhere, and that's supposed to be pretty epilogue of Rebels.
Yeah.
So who knows what the we'll
For the-
see. I mean, they said that this is going to be the one show that's not going to be like entirely fan service. However, if you bring in a major character at the end that's tied to Rebels or to Clone Wars, I mean, there's your fan service right there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm of 2 minds about it. As I think of it both ways, is, I'm kind of with Mr. Notman over here saying he thinks it's going to build to an end of season surprise. But I don't know if it will build to an end of season surprise because we already know we're getting season 2 of this. And they don't want to completely change direction, I don't think, and give us fan servicey season 2. I mean, if we're going to get an end of season surprise, maybe it's K2.
That's what I was just thinking. That'd be the one thing I'd be excited about, Casey, because we know we're getting Saw Gerrera. Hey Meredith, it's so nice to see you join us. Thank you. Welcome. I mean, Kat, what's your thoughts? Do you think that it might be K2, or do you think that they might like throw in I don't know, Ahsoka or somebody?
I don't feel this series is interested in doing that. It's so far been remaining. They're focused on characters. They're taking their time, slow burn approach. They're telling a wide-reaching story with, introducing main characters 4 or 5 episodes into a 12-episode series, or at least for the first season. I don't think they're going to want to end it on a big, moment. Not that there won't be a climax. I think the climax will probably take up more or less the latter third of the series, but I don't think it's going to end on almost like a post-credit scene type beat. I'd be surprised if they did that. I think this is going to be a bit more refined and tied up in a little bow. I mean, yeah, they might have K2 show up, but like you said, they already have Saw Gerrera who's going to be there. And maybe instead of a character, it'll be the revelation of like what was going, because they haven't had the flashbacks for the last couple episodes in terms of what was going on in his home world. That was
we haven't seen any of that.
Like why was that why did his adoptive mother feel that needs to be kept a secret? Like what was going on there?
And we have heard him talk about it a little bit because he did.
Yeah, he's been talking about it, and they have the tease with the kyber crystal that Luthen had. It's like, well, they could go back to that route or go back to that well and say it was kyber crystal mining, but it's like, I feel you can go back to that well only so many times before it just gets a bit redundant. So maybe it'll be a revelation of something. It's supposed to a character, something shocking towards the end that'll still feel natural to it, but I don't think it'll just be a cameo for the sake of, hey, a cameo, like like Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. So Jeff, do you actually think that just like the elusive black crystal, which sorry, John Chiato,
crystal,
do you think that they might do a blue and white variant in the blue?
You mean to something that lights up multiple colors?
No, like the actual stone, like they.
Oh, you mean that kind of graduated blue to clear?
But they make that as a chase, just like the black,
like a variation of the blue crystal. Yeah, that seems like it could be a cool idea, but I don't see that actually happening on Batuu. Especially since there aren't any damn red crystals on Batuu West at the moment anyways. They have
it might cause Keanu to move to the East Coast.
Yeah, he's like,
but I wonder, Jeff, since it's so big, is not having it be one that you could actually put in a saber, but since that one's so much longer, if they started selling those pendants, I bet
they already have those pendants that are actual crystals.
Yeah,
I believe they're crystals. I don't think they're cast resin or something, but they could be. But they're not the kyber crystals that you buy in the containers. They're different. They're larger, and then they have the metal elements, to make them jewelry. I could see them selling another variation of those that would look more like that one, because that one's huge. His crystal's like 3-4 inches long versus what an inch and a half or something for the current jewelry stuff that they offer. I just keep thinking of rock candy whenever I see that, but that's just me.
Yes, but completely off the Star Wars track. Happy 60th to 007. I had to plug that in, and also saw pictures from the concert the other night at Royal Albert Hall, which hopefully they're going to be broadcasting shortly. And they put up a big, I guess I want to say a gobo light with the logo on Pinewood. Kat, why don't you plug your other show and talk a little bit about it?
My friend Scott and I on the Phantasmagorium Show YouTube channel did a whole series, Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns, where we reviewed all 25 Bond films and spoiler recaps with a couple special episodes with special guests. And yesterday we did a stream for the 60th anniversary. I had a friend Tony on from London. We expected it to maybe go an hour, and we ended up going 3 hours, 23 minutes. It just kept going and going and going. I was kind of getting fatigued by the end. It's like, okay, even though I was probably the one who kept coming up with excuses to keep it going, because it's like, oh, we should give them more material. So that was fun. Basically, their big, I guess, announcement for yesterday was the Amazon Prime documentary, The Sound of 007, which is not gonna, as I understand it, it's not gonna be released. I think it's only gonna be on Prime. But I was hoping maybe there'd be an announcement or something. I kind of want them to put out a 4K set of the original films, and I don't think that's probably gonna happen with physical media going away. But yeah, that was still really fun. All our videos are cataloged there. Phantasmagorium, so YouTube channel. We got a playlist, Martinis, Gadgets, and Guns. Check it out. We got our Bullets, Blades, and Babes, which is our Tarantino retrospective. That's another playlist. We'll resume that series next week. So
Nice.
and then we're gonna move into the Batman movies and other stuff coming up. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, last night was a great show. I did not go the distance for the 3 hours. I tuned in for, I don't know, maybe an hour and 20, something like that. And they're still going.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it's like we didn't. It wasn't as structured as we wanted it to be. We originally had a piece of paper. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this, check, and it was immediately just going off the rails. But that's kind of typical.
But in a good way, I thought.
Yeah, in a good way. It was fun.
As long as it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, very excited about that. You guys are doing that, and also want to plug the fact that this weekend, it'll be Cat and Geo, on the Unifying Force. What's going to be the topic this week?
Andor.
Nice.
Andor.
The first 5 episodes. And what do we think it means for the future of Disney Star Wars?
And how very, very wrong we have been about it so far. Or you guys like I was wrong too, but I won't be there. I'm gonna do another
obligation
thing.
No, but very, very exciting, and it's a great time for everybody, these Star Wars fans and Marvel fans. As we know, tickets went on sale this past week for Black Panther 2, as well as the announcement of the return of Mr. Hugh Jackman, coming to the MCU, finally to be with, Ryan Reynolds, and hopefully it's not a repeat of Origins Wolverine. So I'm sure they'll throw some jokes into that.
Oh yeah. It's going to be very meta.
What's your thoughts on that announcement, Kat?
Not surprising because they've been teasing it for a long time, and I do assume it's going to be full of a bunch of meta jokes, kind of like the first Deadpool was when he was making fun of all of his, X-Men Origins and Green Lantern and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to try and tie it into the canon of the Fox movies, because that continuity is all over the place anyway, and you don't want to undo the ending of Logan, which is just too good. So I think it's just going to be like a fun, hey, how you doing type of, check-in fun type of stuff. So yeah, probably be very meta. It'll be cool.
Absolutely. So we're about 5 minutes out. Please make sure that you have episode 5 of Andor on your D Plus machine, because you're not going to find it anywhere else right now. All queued up, and we're very excited about that. But as we mentioned before, we're 6 months away from Bunta, but we are 6 months and 1 day away from Celebration 2023. So it's pretty exciting. Can't believe we're already into the countdown as well. But we've got some great things coming your way. Also want to announce that on the November 22nd, we are going to have our Life Day extravaganza. We're not doing it on actual Life Day because the Skywalkers are actually going to be on Batu East
they're being East, huh? I'll be in this year.
So we got that coming, and then whole bunch of Ubuntu goodness, and where we're very busy playing that. Another teaser going out next week. But keep track of everything that's going on between us and the Virtual Cantina Network, and pardon me, T Public. Chipotle always tastes good coming in.
Well,
I needed a burrito tonight. I'm sorry. But yeah, anyway, enough about burritos. Very excited about all the stuff we're doing over here. And once again, everybody who's been coming in every week, thank you very much. And if you have ideas for future shows or events or anything of that nature that we could do on our network, please, reach out to us. How can they do that?
Or if you get something cool, if you're going to Batu East or West and you buy something cool and you ship it to your house, it comes in, shoot us an unboxing video, man. We love seeing your cool stuff just as much, really, as we love seeing our cool stuff. Send it to us at the Virtual Cantina Network at gmail.com, and we will edit it up, throw some plugs in for our stuff, and you can see yourself on our very own YouTube channel.
Very cute. Very cool. And we'll go from there. We've got 3 more minutes. I'm not wearing a dope.
I'll probably try to go live on Life Day from the park. during some of the activities that they have planned, that are, I should say, the group has planned that does some Life Day stuff versus what Disney has planned, which may actually be something.
I wonder if we'll get some Life Day merch again this year.
I think
Like different stuff from
hard. They're going to hit hard because of how popular everything was from last year. That was the first year of actual Life Day merch and them kind of embracing the holiday.
I was shocked how much I was able to buy when I came for my birthday last year, a month later.
Right. Because that was partially was supply chain issues. So things arrived late. But then it was also weird anomalies, like Mike and I finding the last 4 Life Day ornaments just available one random day when we stopped in one of the shops in the marketplace, and I snagged them all, and Mike and I got one, and Mr. O'Neill over there and Miss April got one as well. So got some cool stuff for people well after the fact. That was a long time after the actual, I think it was after Christmas, wasn't it? Oh, speak of the devil. Nice.
And I will break out. I have not worn it yet. It's been hanging in my closet, the Life Day t-shirt from Batu West.
Nice.
And also I have my orb, which kind of looks like a prophecy from Harry Potter, but that's besides the point.
I have the orb that I made, which I like better. It's bigger and it's not as weirdly blue without the lights on kind of thing. So I'm going to stick with that one. Also, it I made it so it has a little bit of different kind of value.
And it's cool.
And I can light it up all different ways because I put a bunch of strings of lights inside, so I can.
There you go.
I can mess with the colors.
So we're basically at that time right now. So, Kat, why don't you do the countdown?
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Or episode 5, The Axe Forgets.
And don't skip the recap.
And no skipping, yes.
What did you wrong?
Uh-oh, I hear somebody. We get a lot more of some of these characters, which I kind of enjoyed. But then there was some things that Andor specifically did, which I was fairly annoyed with.
Yeah, I think some interesting thing that the recap here is all almost a little spoilery now that you've seen it. I mean, it didn't spoil it for you, but it's how they're just
eluding.
They're all talking about the money. Is what it is they're robbing the payroll. He's they're complaining about him bringing in a mercenary.
Like there was a meme where it said Jewish mothers are now canon in Star Wars. So that was pretty funny, I felt, especially with what we see in this episode.
Well, it hits too close to home for me.
Well, there you go.
I mean, and they really hit it. I mean, it. Other than like the size jokes and stuff, she so reminds me of Howard's mother from Big Bang.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
The visual, right? With the visual instead of just the voice.
Right.
But a little less abrasive, just a little.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I think she's a little less loving than Howard's mother.
Maybe.
But
yeah, I still am probably going to do a spoilers without context post for this episode, just because there's so many things that I was like, wait, no, what, huh?
Well, the band's really off till tomorrow, so you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yes.
The band only lasts for 5 more hours.
I mean, I already have some She-Hulk memes lined up, and I'm waiting another day or two because it came out that quickly.
I love my orb. Yeah, there's lots of interesting makeup and stuff in this episode.
Yeah.
I love how we're seeing Cyril here.
Well, I enjoyed this entire part with Cyril
Mhm.
is seeing like the inside of an apartment in the Star Wars universe.
So
You know,
I love. Yeah,
this little
sorry.
kitchenette pod. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? You got the Melrooms sitting on the table,
Yep.
and then you got his blueberry and blue milk.
You got the makeshift R2D2 in the corner.
Yeah, the little like R2 bot, like cleaning
Yeah.
bot, whatever it is. Not R2 bot. In the corner.
And look, like French bread pizza toaster ovens, canon
Yeah, there you
right
go.
there. Toaster ovens are now canon.
Like IKEA food trays.
Mhm.
Or it could be, Cocoa Puffs or whatever.
And I
you know?
assume that's their
sugary
cast
cereals.
maker behind him there. Like there's your Star Wars coffee maker.
Oh yeah. When I before I saw the episode, somebody had posted one of those spoilers without context, and one of the pictures was Captain Crunch berries. So they're not crunch berries, but they're very close.
I like that angular picture.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Very cool lines. What is that thing? The red or white with red stripes on
It,
it.
it looks almost like a card shuffling machine.
And I'm like, what is it, like
Well, the
butter holder?
recycling of props, that may not be its intended purpose, but that's
so many. Yeah, they love to repurpose everything, and especially all these shows, but this one's been very, very like prolific with how many things they've repurposed. Especially when Clem's talking to that other guy about the job they're doing, and busts out a piece of a electronic.
I can't tell what's the thing on the like drop ceiling behind them. Is this like an air vent or something? I don't know.
I wasn't looking up there.
Like these huts and the hammocks remind me a lot of the in Mandalorian, where they saw the mother and the child, like in the first season where they met Cara Dune.
Oh, right, that not fish. They're sort of fishermen.
Sanctuary episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that village.
The crawdad fishermen.
It reminds me of an episode of something else that I've seen, and I can't exactly place it. Is whether it's a sci-fi or a military show that they have these kind of like hexagonal reed huts or something. I don't know.
What about the Holocaust connotations by
With the tattoos.
not so Eric Lencher over there.
Yeah, that barcode is pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean they opened a whole nother can of worms to now talk about that. This is like this is the Easter egg where Obi-Wan, where Alec Guinness mentions the Clone Wars, and you're going like, the Clone Wars?
Right.
Maybe we should have 7 seasons of animated series about that.
We don't even know it. Yeah, this big time parallels to the Holocaust right there. And with him being so like skinny and kind of bony, even though he's fairly muscular, but that kind of gives it another feel.
And
Marcus in the back.
another 37 seconds before people are starting to get those.
Somebody's probably already laid out a file and is making temporary tattoo versions of it to sell on Etsy.
Yeah.
I should do that.
I'm surprised you guys hadn't already.
It's only a day old, so sometimes those ideas need to simmer a little longer.
Well, I think me personally, I want to know a little bit more about like what it is. I mean, I get the impression that it's alluding that he was like an abused orphan child or something. And
He's
I'm
got
like,
some mean marks there on his back
yeah.
from wherever he was, and they're kind of.
We don't need another Star Wars orphan, do we, Cat?
But
All
do you not
characters.
get
Are orphans. Every character. You can't have
Yeah,
parents.
we don't need to go back to that well again. And again. And again.
we already are, because that's what Cassian is right there.
Well, at least they're not playing it up that much so far.
Right. But that's got to be coming back because how much they kind of gave us of that. And then he's sort of telling, like, I was 3 years in this facility or whatever. And that would have
Don't
been
forget, he's
after
here
that.
to win and walk away.
Really.
I don't think you walk away there, sir.
No.
Uh-oh, it's Mr. Mothma, the dickhead.
Oh, and we got to name this episode right
Aaron.
I call him Mr. Mothma.
there. Aaron.
For some reason, Mr. Mothman makes me think Mothman.
Yes,
Mr.
were we
Mothra.
talking about that the other day? Like Point Pleasant, West Virginia. We were talking about that.
Leda is her
This
is
kind
daughter's
of
name.
stuff, like
Pleasant.
this episode, I mean, this scene is so long.
It is, and I don't know, is with the age of my daughter hit a little close to home.
Yeah.
Like, wait,
But they just let it sort of ruminate, whatever.
Ruminate.
And sort of like just, yeah, like simmer.
Yeah, Sherry, his robes are very fancy pants Jedi like. They're like kind of High Republic Jedi got going.
And his hair is almost a Jedi style too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a poser.
Yeah. That's probably like what high society likes to do, is be like a fancy Jedi without any Jedi power. But you did see Luthen in that one episode, third episode,
Yeah.
With that lightsaber wand stick thing that was like a walking stick, but then he could retract what looked like a lightsaber blade of one of the ones I built.
I think they need to hire an interior decorator.
I mean,
So this scene makes me feel like, okay, so I'm just gonna utilize this as a analogy, but like dad and the daughter are Republicans and mom is a Democrat.
like
Well,
there's
they're
no
imperial,
politics
but
in
she
Star
is
Wars.
rebel.
There's no politics in Star Wars. I know.
Competing ideologies.
Okay, this is my favorite part. Is the first white milk that we see in Star Wars tastes like crap.
It's like beige, but yeah. That right there, I'm like, what the
Nice-
hell is he going to take a picture of?
Yes, nice Polaroid.
That's what I thought it was too.
But
It was
it
Pop-up
seemed almost like
Polaroid.
Matrix to me as well when the slop that Mouse gives Neo, like it's supposed to taste like tasty wheat.
Oh, that from the
And
milk.
this is like the Mouse of Andor.
oh, it really is.
Yeah, they're bringing in all the analog stuff. They have Polaroid cameras, card shufflers, pictures, AK-47s.
Yeah, those AK-47. We haven't seen him fire that weapon, have we?
No,
No,
I was
but-
waiting for it and expecting it this week. I'm like, I want to see it fired.
I
Yeah.
think we'll see it next week because I mean, you remember?
Oh yeah, when they do
bring
the
it
raid.
with them and they passed it off to Val.
Well, on the because I'm watching the closed caption as well. They talked about a manifesto, but I was about to say,
Turn
wait,
mine on.
Mephisto's here?
There you go.
I'd forgotten mine were off, and I was just not hearing anything.
Oh, I've become. I think that's got to be a Polaroid. It really does.
It is.
It is.
It's
They
definitely a
on
Polaroid.
Screen Crush. They
I
talk about it.
immediately went and like Googled Polaroid pop-up camera, and that one and a bunch of other variations popped up. Literally, I'm like, oh, there it is. It's like $1,500 now because it's old.
I'm sure like Chris Bartlett
Now because it's
went
on
on
the
eBay
shelf.
right away and went to go buy one
Yeah,
like he did the bowling game.
Oh yeah.
Depending on which model, I might have one over there. I collect vintage cameras in addition to other crap.
Well, it folds all the way down, I think, like to about that flat, and then that pops up. Versus the one that's like more sort of solid body.
I know what you're talking about. There's a solid body that just like the flash unit comes up, and so because I know I have that one, but I've got another style of Polaroid. I'll have to like dig those out.
I love these models and how what's his name talked about how they were built and stuff.
Sorry, it's
What
crude
size-
and not the scale, and I didn't have time to paint it.
Do you notice on the sides of the huts they had look like hay, like sheets or walls that were all tied up with twine? That maybe like there's a storm or something that they
They
just
could
cut the
drop
twine.
them.
Yeah.
There was like some sort of window covering type things, or yeah, opening coverings.
Yeah, these are fancy huts, which they
Seem
put
pretty
a lot into production, I'm sure, to build. Like, what do we see? At least 3 or 4 of them in the wide shots.
right. So like
So they're talking about Lieutenant Gorn. Is he green with like sharp teeth and fights?
wearing a leot or a what's it called, a loincloth.
No, the original Gorns, I like had. Did they have? They had a chest thing, I think.
It has a
Some
thing
sort
that
of
went
chest.
across here, and then was like a loincloth element at the bottom. I love how
Yes.
he finds out that they had no clue what the ship actually needs or does.
And it said ass in
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars again.
Oh, there's the death metal goats. All right.
Yeah, this. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still torn on the. I don't know if I like the fact that they're bringing in more Earth language, or if I don't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the prequels, some of Poodoo felt a little childish and
Yeah, definitely.
but I don't know.
You
What
mean
I
Jar Jar? I'm telling Jar Jar you're in deep doo doo.
voodoo. When the guy said shit, excuse my French, I felt that character, especially based on his accent, especially would have said shite
Right.
more before he would have said shit. But that's just me being biased against that.
There's been some people saying that they should have said Dank Ferric. Just call
There
it a
you go.
day.
Yeah, well, if they would have done something like that,
Or say Dank,
And then sometimes they a little cheap out on the props
Yeah.
because that was obviously a galvanized trash can lid.
yeah, totally. Like, where does that tie into anything else that they have that they're using? So I want to know if this is like a real dam somewhere, or was it a bridge? But it's an amazing location if most of what we're seeing is actually legit.
Yeah, I don't know because
That's what's kind of scaring me though.
I didn't think in this shot that looked like a real dam, but when you see the shots on the top of the dam and especially like looking across it,
Yeah, that's where I was getting that feeling from too.
I'm loving these actual sets as opposed to using the volume. Not to say that I don't love the volume, but
Right. Volume is great for a lot of things, but not everything.
Yeah, the series is a lot more involving because they did go to actual locations all over the place to film, and it shows in building actual sets.
Right. Love the weird like concierge service on the side there with the luggage.
well, and I like here that they've built a new different kind of town as opposed to just using the same Tatooine town that I'm pretty sure they've used for 3 different towns at this point.
Yep. Yeah, this one's got a slightly different vibe. It's almost like a cross between sort of the Batu look and like a Tatooine look. But then it's got way more of the brick literal brick like
Mhm.
elements and exposed elements like that.
And how about this? They just choose a building anywhere that looks kind of nice, and they decide to make it like the headquarters.
Yeah.
It was a hotel, so
It says that goose-stepping morons should be reading books instead of burning them.
are you a ventriloquist, Spencer?
Now, see, I find this funny because if you watch this scene and you know what Cassian's about to say about where they should be carrying and switching, those two characters are carrying their weapons to the outside, and he and the other guy are the
Yeah, they're
ones that have
backwards,
them
like-
pointed at each other. And he
Like-
says it the opposite.
Right. When I was watching them walk up, I'm like, shouldn't they be like that
Mhm.
in on each other? You would think that having your weapon pointed at the guy next to you would be a no-no for the
Yeah.
most part. Otherwise, they'd walk with it like up or something.
Well, I'm willing to bet that everything that I've seen generally is when you're marching in parade, they don't care what hand you naturally carry your weapon in. You carry it the way it's
Everybody
supposed
does
to
the
look.
same thing,
Everybody's right-handed.
right?
This is really cool.
Yeah. And now the ties in the distance look a little fake.
Yeah, that looks
That-
very video
That
game.
looks pretty cheesy.
You mean like
When it gets close.
Crank's ship looked like when in the opening scene of Rogue One?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that looked a little bit better.
Yeah.
They should have dove for cover.
Well, they did duck and cover. It's interesting as how obviously those guys don't give a shit about them, but they just need to look a little bit and be like, what's that blanket covering?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Well,
cool.
I mean, I don't know. I guess the guy that's out joyriding the TIE fighter and flying that low just for giggles, it's like, eh.
That's just Maverick.
There you go.
Buzz in the tower.
They tried to wave him off, but he came through.
But see, if this isn't an actual set, at least probably not this view, but at least the back view across the reservoir.
Right.
I don't know if that's a set or volume or a matte painting, that's a darn good one.
Yeah, these scenes all look really clean and legit.
Also looks like that guy Kimsey was smoking a regular cigarette.
Regular death stick? I mean, not a death stick?
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah, they're being a little laxer with like sort of real world elements, and that can be a bit annoying.
That'd be an interesting concept. Mr. Notman says, what if another group of radicals show up to steal the Imperial payroll at the same time?
Huh,
Hmm.
winky dink.
That'd throw a nice wrench into things.
It would.
I like these like hiding spots under the moss. Those look cool. The blankets out in the middle of the valley were a lot less clever.
Still wondering like what language she's teaching him and with what purpose.
Hmm.
Because everyone we've seen so far has been speaking Galactic Basic other than on his home world.
Right. I love how much Homeboy messes with him. He just gets so annoyed. But I get pulled out of it and think too much of the bear. Because he's being the same Richie or whatever his character's name is in the bear. Only not talking about sandwiches, talking about raids. You haven't seen the bears.
Okay, dude, why are you taking the Kyber out of your boot?
Putting it on. Maybe it. Yeah, I don't know. If he just left it where it was, homeboy would have had more difficulty getting to it.
No.
Yep.
She gets no payment. Pay me no.
I mean,
mind.
it seems like she has the same sort of mentality as Cyril.
Right. Yeah, maybe they'll work together at some point.
Maybe.
I find it amusing that these handheld devices have popped up in all these episodes after somebody made something with one of them in it.
I don't
I
know.
was thinking about that
I
too.
don't know what that would be.
Yeah, but I don't know what I'm thinking about. So
But anyways, I like the idea of a tablet type device that pretty much everybody has because that's the way it is.
And look at these, is they've got different Imperial light panels. They've got horizontal as opposed to vertical light panels. You know, if they didn't cheap
not just
out
big
and, put in some fluorescent lights, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Got the Home Depot special and put those up. Some shop lights are good to go.
she's checking her collar, either like Vader's choking her or she's pulling a Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, they
Or a
didn't
Admiral
put the
Mahdi.
same amount of effort into Kenobi as they did to this show.
No. However, Yeti cups are now canon.
But even the detail in all of these different apartments and dwellings that we've seen is so much more nuanced and a lot more variety than we've seen in Star Wars before as well. Usually, like if it's corporate, it's a very bland look to it, but this is very, like you said, very specific, very different.
Mm-hmm.
Even this huts that they've built out here, that I mean, they said yeah, they're the remains of a village or whatnot, and it's like, well, unless because if they built it just for the mission to hide out in, it's like that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, but he has said that they've been there for months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been planning this and doing their thing out there for a lot longer. I get the feeling that those huts
To the rebellion.
possibly there prior to them, and that was like leftover from whatever other stuff was going on in the area, but I don't know.
Oh, they let the sheep go. Yeah, because I mean they wouldn't have built that bridge. I wouldn't think.
Unless there was some, like getting the sheep to the other side of the river for grazing or something.
I was waiting for Smeagol to be running like in the foreground.
I love how she's like, you got to go talk to your uncle. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
Bob's your uncle.
There it is. Yep, Bob's your uncle. He'll know what to do. This whole little breakfast nook thing that they're in reminds me a lot of the weird kind of cargo container seating areas in Docking Bay 7 on Batuu.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what the little rounded off place with like the almost range hood over it on the
Oh
other
yeah, right
side.
there. Like some sort of.
Well, yeah, is
That
I
one.
guess you're seeing him because behind him is like a little a window
like-
cutout shelf, and you're seeing that thing on the opposite wall. Yeah.
Right. Looks like there's some sort of dispensers there across from where they were just sitting.
Well, and then the little pad device that has like the Genesis wave broadcast on it or something.
On that wall, yeah.
The Genesis device?
Genesis? Yeah.
With ears like that, how could you not hear me?
I think it's interesting the variety of indigenous clothing, indigenous
Yeah.
earth clothing that they're bringing into
Very
this.
Himalayan kind of.
Yeah, I was going to say that this looks like Andean, but Himalayan it's kind of the same thing.
It's Andorian.
And oh no, they're not blue.
Alderani.
Or Andorian's green or blue. I don't know.
We have to see.
Given that there's a lot of tension surrounding him, and it's like, why are they waiting till this long before they voice their suspicions outright? You know,
That's
it's
true.
weird.
Maybe they felt they needed more
Yeah.
info. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's your generic officer with the officer, the tight regulation stash. You gotta have the regulation stash.
No trick.
Go Trek.
Now, this
70s stash.
I think was the masterful manipulation ever. Is he has thrown suspicion off of
Plausible
himself.
deniability. Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, no, I was trying to put more people on that night.
I didn't want those guys to be all up there having fun. I wanted them painting stuff in the depths of this building. It's very well played. That like he's very happy with himself right there. And this is the credits.
That's what it looks like.
I missed that the first time I was watching this. It was definitely a vault of some sort. So what do the guys that fly around the TIE fighters think these people are doing out there?
I would assume it means that they're just shepherds. That's why they had the funny horned sheep. Is that they're just, randomly shepherds out there.
I knew it. You were trying to make a beef sandwich that wasn't the recipe that we used. Sorry.
So now we gotta find out more of what the deal is with Sky Kyber is, because that's
right. Pretty sweet looking, but it does remind me very much of Rock Heavy. Ooh,
I don't know.
Worth good money though. Aha, Jonathan's saying it's Scotland. I wouldn't put it past them since they were filming in the UK.
Well, spring assisted switchblades now canon. That's why, right?
Yep. They're bringing all kinds of rando stuff.
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Mm-hmm.
That's a knife.
There you go. That would be.
Take your damn 30,000 credit necklace. Put it back in your boot. Yep. It's weird. The Imperial shuttle. So is that like the
the big guy that they were talking about coming in?
Right. Whichever officer, maybe we'll get a reveal of somebody, some head honcho that we don't expect to see. That would be cool. Yeah, their wardrobe is very much a mixture of like sort of South American and Asian and Middle Eastern styles. African, no, not so much African.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much that. Is Cassian's is still like that overwrap kind of
like
AG style.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it gives me Andean or like Peruvian kind of vibes.
Like mountain dwelling kind of tribe or people.
Is Cinta the only one with other than Cassian with a non like British accent? Because it
Well-
doesn't sound like does she have one or not? Which I don't know.
Sherry said they're dressed like Sherpas.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think
kinda-
Jeff said Himalayan
Yeah.
the first time.
that hat that Clem was wearing.
Is that not the coolest car that we've seen in
Oh
Star
my-
Wars yet?
Yeah, the views of
looks
it,
like
the
a
angles that they show, it looks
I mean,
so
when I saw it, that was exactly what I thought. Is I was
Low
like
price.
that, like Elvis would rock that.
yeah, classic.
How
cat-
about this? When we gonna tell us about this new foundation? Like, is that how she's like ciphering like funds
Praying.
through?
Right.
Oh, through her charitable foundation.
Yep.
That's why she's having issues. Chloris.
And this dude just even worse. He can't remember the driver's name or doesn't.
Said he knew his name earlier or in previous episode, but he was just bullshitting. He's too, he's above him, so he doesn't need to know his name. He's got a lot of that kind of thing going for him.
Yeah, Sherry says she thinks it's ridiculous, Cadillac limo. I think it's purposely ridiculous.
Yes, it's very
I think they're
gaudy.
very purposely trying to show that.
Make it very kind of
Ostentatious and
Hmm.
upper class, kind of showing they have money kind of thing. Cyril is so full of himself. Sad.
well, how
sad.
about the
I love the figures.
action figures they has got back
Yeah,
there?
I was like, what is that? What's that? Focus on that.
I mean, it almost looks like Bad Batch action figures.
That kind of.
If one of those is Crosshair, winner.
There you go.
See,
And
the way
when
he's looking
Black
at that
Series
hologram,
Pops become canon.
He's obsessed with that Cassian hologram.
he's looking at it like he wants revenge. I don't see him as somebody who necessarily wants to jump ship.
Right. So you
Why are
think
you
he's gonna
flagging them
remain
down?
Sort of opposite of Cassian and not sort of join that cause.
I don't know. Clem would be a nice name. What do you think, Lila?
Like these, yeah. Don't start naming your
Clem and
kids.
Cyril.
When he first said Clem, when he gave his name, my first thought was Clem Grogan. I'm like, that's not who it is, but that's what I kept thinking of.
Or like Perrin. Don't name your kid Perrin. Don't start spelling Tim with 2 M's.
No.
Knock it off.
No. Bix. Be a bunch of girls named Bix.
Now that I see happening. I do.
Well, it's like when they released the prequel for Game of Thrones. They're like, wait to find out who this character is and what they do if they live before you start naming your kids.
Right. Get through the series before you commit to something. But so his accent is not British, or he's got more of a like an
Eastern European, maybe?
I think he's I
Maybe,
think that
but-
actor's Irish or Gaelic or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name is
Okay.
let's see, what's his name? Yeah, because he had a name that I was like, well, that's interesting.
Right. Yeah, I forget what it is offhand, but he definitely sounds like
Yeah,
he's
Evan Moss Backrack. No, he's American, but his
in the
accent-
Bear. He sounds like he's from Chicago, and that's what he's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
And he sounds similar to that in this to me. I
Mm.
feel he sounds more like an American, like Eastern Middle or Midwest type accent than he does like a British or a,
Well,
Europe.
Midwestern accent would maybe depends on how Midwestern. If you're talking
I'm
like
thinking Chicago
okay.
specifically because that's where I've heard him talk a lot on the Bear about sandwiches.
Is that a landing pad outside their house?
some sort of little.
Well, because
That's what
that's
the-
where
Yeah, she pulled up right.
the caddy pulled up
Right.
when they were shopping.
So they have little spots for customers right outside.
There's some better shots of your
holocrons on the shelf. back there.
holocrons.
Yeah, and the Sankara stones that are right over Luthen's head.
Mm.
Nothing random electronic.
Kalima.
So it looks like he has two, so he doesn't have all three.
I think you see
Those
the four when
Sankara
they're-
stones in there have additional markings on it too.
Right.
It has
Yeah.
the three going across, and then it has like the little triangle thing.
Yeah, they're not exactly. the
Kalima
same.
Shakti.
Close.
Those are big
You know,
ass
the arc is out
holocrons,
there
though.
somewhere.
Yeah, those
Arc
holocrons are
3PO
giant.
had to do with it.
That Jedi holocron reminds me of the one they use on in the videos I've seen on the what's it called?
Are those not?
The Star Wars hotel ship.
Are those not overscaled though?
Halcyon.
Yeah, they weigh. I mean, like the one you buy in Batu's,
Yeah.
like this big, but the one in on the I can't remember the name of the ship.
Halcyon.
Yeah, the Halcyon. On that ship, there's a whole scene. If you do the Jedi Path, spoiler alert, where you get like Rey will take a group of people into this room, and there's a holocron, and it's about that big, and then it opens up, and we're done with the episode.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
Yoda hologram pops out. Anyway,
No,
sorry.
did you also notice the bullwhip that's caught in carbonite?
Was that a bullwhip or was it?
No, it's a bullwhip because there's a close up in the last episode of that. So there's indie references,
Thought
and
it-
Easter eggs.
I thought it looked like the Rathtar that's in the wall of Smuggler's Run.
No, it's definitely roped.
Okay.
But
Yeah. See, that was the biggest surprise of the whole episode for me, is that just cutting off the ending like that.
Right.
That I was like, what? We don't. There's not a just.
Yeah.
so I am honestly. Here's the thing: is that I'm loving this, and I don't know if I would love it if I was not a Star Wars fan.
Right. It might be a
Because
harder-
it's not
harder
it's
to-
not the traditional type of show that I would watch in general. Like it's not my cup of tea. But the fact that it's Star Wars and I've been jonesing for something new Star Wars for like years now, I'm really liking it. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Catherine?
Yeah, they are dragging it out a bit, particularly with everything happening with Cassian and the other rebels. It's like we get it; they didn't trust him from the beginning, but they've spent between these latest two episodes so much screen time on that to only finally get to a pretty soft confrontation. And it's like, okay, you can move it along a little bit here, because I was on another stream on Sunday and we were all predicting that, this is going to be an episode where they're going to juxtapose the heist against the dinner that Mount Mothma has to have with Sly Moore, and the tension playing off against each other. And instead, this is like another interlude before we get to that. So.
But is this the kind of show that you think that you would have watched if it was not Star Wars?
That would really, I would watch it, but it would also depend on what the subject was. Like if it's not Star Wars, if it's an original sci-fi series, I might give it a chance. But certain storylines they haven't really been getting back to as much, like the investigation into what happened on Ferrix, the emphasis on the flashbacks, like what Bix is up to, the fact that they're setting up the Imperial garrison now on Morlando 1. And it's like, okay, I see that he's setting up shop here, but why are we pursuing this part of the story? Because Cassian's already left. I don't get the sense that he's going to go back there anytime soon. So it's like, is there a big? There must be a story. They must be getting back to that at some point in the series, because right now it does feel a little bit like it's that storyline is off doing its own thing. So,
but like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's what I was looking for in Star Wars. So I don't know. And Dave, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I was just looking on IMDb here to confirm what I was thinking. This is reminding me very much, obviously without like the just detective part yet, at least, of like the 80s BBC Sherlock Holmes series,
Ooh,
and how it's a little bit, it's kind of that slower, and you've got to see everything, and you're looking for the little clues and stuff and the Easter eggs in there to figure out what's going on. It's not Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, which is, pew pew.
Guy
It's
Ritchie version. So yeah.
yeah, it's a really cerebral, like, try and figure out what's going down. And that's in a good way. That's in a very good way, because I will, like, watch the crap out of, like, that sort of series and that kind of thing.
well, I'm glad you would watch it, Lila. That's awesome. What's your thoughts, Jeff?
Yeah, like it's different where they're kind of letting things sit and simmer longer. Those scenes with Cyril and his mom, just him by himself even, and then the scenes with Mon Mothma and the husband and daughter at the table. I mean, they really let you kind of feel the tension and be in the moment for more time than maybe other shows have, in terms of how quickly they move along. So it's interesting. What's going to be more interesting, because of there's supposed to be 3-episode arcs, is this gonna complete the Mon Mothma presence for a while, or is it gonna just push it to the back burner for a moment? Or I'm curious as to what's going to culminate in the next episode in that sense, for the 3rd episode arc, or of her initial arc.
Sure.
I kind of like the way that Lila has compared this to The Walking Dead. Is there good stretches of Walking Dead that are this kind of pace? Yeah. I mean, they're not all like, the first couple of episodes where, there's thousands of zombies you got to get away from in Atlanta and that sort of thing. But after a while, it just became okay. Is the deal. But I do like what you said, Jeff. Is the scene with the daughter with the attitude was the most true to life Star Wars that I've ever seen. It's like relatable right there.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Very good episode. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not gonna make any predictions, because every time I make a prediction we're wrong. So we'll see what happens, but I'm enjoying the slow burn. We're just about halfway, we're kind of up to the halfway mark next week, mid-season already. So very exciting stuff. But don't forget, on Sunday, we have Unifying Force talking about the first 5 episodes of Andor with Kat and Geo. And then, some other shenanigans coming up. And we'll have on Tuesday a recap of New York Comic Con and all that jazz. But other than that, thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Early night for a lot of us, which is actually awesome.
Mhm.
So from Jeff, from Dave, from Kat, and I, let's say, may the force be with you.